All right, let's get to the BSJ member question of the day and away from my dreams. Mike from Stoneham has a question. Greg, here is what I do not understand. Are you saying the CBA prevents, and I'm sure Greg will give you the context in the background, are you saying the CBA prevents the Patriots from going to Rhamondre Stevenson this year and extending him? He was not a first-round pick, so one would assume they could opt to extend him whenever they wanted to. Did the NFLPA screw their players over that badly that they cannot come to a new contract agreement with the team if it's mutually beneficial? So, Greg, obviously, Mike didn't just cook up this question out of nowhere. Where do you get this question from, and what's your answer to that question?
So it was my column from the other day about, Dalvin Cook. And, it was off of Mike Lombardi saying, I think the Patriots have interest and they should be interested. And it was basically a column about how, we've talked about it before, that, Bill Belichick believes that there's a salary structure on every team. Like, he's not going to go in and bring in some guy from the outside, like when Julian Edelman was here. He didn't bring any huge money free agents when Julian Edelman was the workhorse here, because, you bring in a guy that makes $10 million and Julian's making $5 million. How's Julian going to feel about that? What's this guy done to, oftentimes it has an adverse effect in the locker room, even though if fans don't want to talk about it. Trust me, it happens all the time on every team, even the Patriots. I mean, even remember when Malcolm Butler wouldn't take the Patriots contract extension offer, and the Patriots were like, fine, we'll just give it to Stephon Gilmore. Well, Malcolm didn't like it. Malcolm's teammates didn't like it, to the point that in Stephon Gilmore's first training camp practice, him and Julian Edelman are slugging it out in the end of the end zone. And I do think that was partly Julian giving a little nod to his teammates.
The CLNS Media Network is powered by FanDuel. Sign up at FanDuel.com/Boston and get in on the action with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed.
So, it was related to, Dalvin Cook. It's fine that you want to bring him in, but this is a guy who wants to make somewhere in the ballpark of $9 million this year. Rhamondre Stevenson makes $950,000 this year.
Yeah.
So Bill Belichick knows better than anybody. That's why I think it's much more. You could much rather see them bring in, say, a Leonard Fournette or who's the other guy, Kareem Hunt. Guys who would take like $3 million plus incentives. Like, Rhamondre could deal with that, and it would be clear those guys would be his backup. But if you're paying Dalvin Cook $9 million a year to come in here and take Ramondre's reps, and take some of his stats for, when he goes for a contract, it's probably not going to go well. So I have a hard time seeing Bill Belichick doing the Dalvin Cook thing unless Cook absolutely wants to take a bargain basement deal, which I don't think he wants to do. So, my point about Rhamondre Stevenson is that he is entering his third year. They cannot redo his contract until after his fourth season. Yes, I think that's correct. I just drew a blank. But whatever, they can't do Rhamondre Stevenson's contract right now. So even if you wanted, in a lot of cases, like say with Devontae Parker, they gave him some future money that maybe makes it better if they bring in DeAndre Hopkins and sign him. They can't do that with Rhamondre Stevenson, even though he's earned, I think Over the Cap has his valuation at $10 million a year right now, and he's making less than $1 million. And so the Patriots can't do anything. So, if you're the Patriots, you could go to Stevenson and promise him, hey, we're going to redo your contract. Here's the framework of it as soon as we can. Okay. And maybe Rhamondre is receptive to that, but what happens if he tears his ACL? Are the Patriots going to honor that contract? So, the point of it was, the question from Mike and Stoneham was, it's true. For a first round pick, you have 4 years, then you have the 5th year option. If he was an undrafted free agent, I'm pretty sure they can redo him in 2 years. Or possibly after the 3rd. And with every other drafted rookie, it's after their 4th season that they can do their contract. So the point is, the Patriots can't do anything about Rhamondre Stevenson's contract right now, and that makes the Dalvin Cook situation even more complicated.
And what they want to. Even if Stevenson is good, how far are they willing to go? Let's not get it twisted. The running back position doesn't have a lot of value in the NFL. And I know running backs have talked about that this offseason. Christian McCaffrey said something about it. Saquon Barkley, the latest with him and the New York Giants, is there at a quote-unquote stalemate about his contract situation. The running back position does not have a ton of value. It's been proven that you can go scoop guys up, undrafted, late rounds, middle rounds, and replace somebody and get production from that somebody. Are there 2 or 3 running backs that are different? Yes. Those guys are the ones that can catch 60 passes, 65 passes, 70 passes a year. Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, Barkley, if he's healthy. Those are guys that can be weapons and not just running backs. Rhamondre, as we talked about earlier in this podcast, Greg, he's shown the ability that he can catch the football from time to time, but he's not one of those guys. And so when you're looking at a running back, the vast majority of that running back's production coming from the run game and what he can do with the football when it's handed off to him, there's just not a lot of value. And Rhamondre, he's going to want money. The window is tight, as we know, and it's his right to go out and try to get that money. But I always kind of feel it's a little shaky with any running back as far as how long they're going to be part of your program. You never really know. So many guys come in, they drop off. What, Pacheco last year for the Chiefs, was he 7th round or was he undrafted, the Rutgers guy?
7th.
7th round pick. You can go back. You can go back through the years. And just look at who won the Lombardi that year and who was the running back for that team and how did that team land that running back. There's just been so many guys in the middle, late rounds, undrafted, that have paid dividends for teams. Teams are not going to overextend themselves to get a deal done. Now, would the Patriots want to get a deal done with Stevenson earlier because they wouldn't have to pay him as much? I think that's the route. If Stevenson gets to free agency, then I just find it very hard to believe that he'll be back unless he's willing to take a team discount, as they say. That position just isn't very valuable. It really isn't.
The CLNS Media Network is powered by FanDuel. Sign up at FanDuel.com/Boston and get in on the action with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed.